Friday, everybody. Guess what today is? You know exactly what today is. It is Q&A day. This is the day that we do our question and answer. And, you know, we get it done, girls. We get it done. I don't see a soul in here. Ah, there we go. There's 4. Good. I was getting worried. I felt like I would be breaking my fast all by myself, and that would be sad. There's my girl, Terry. Hi, Fawn. There's my Marla. Crystal, you guys, hello. Good to see everybody. Melissa, hello, Melissa. Catherine, it's really good to see everybody. I got some Brendas coming in. You know when the Brendas come in that it's time to party. There's Tracy, my recent grad. We're talking this afternoon, Tracy. I'm excited about that. We're going to be jamming on her career path. There's Melanie flying through your house. You're going to listen. Good. I like it when people listen. I like it when I have something to say and maybe somebody's going to listen. All right, so today's Friday, and you know that's our Q&A day, and I have plenty of things to talk about. And I also, I just want to pull you in on a couple of things that I think you're going to want to do. And that is, you know, as far as getting prepared for the sprint. Okay, so I'm just writing myself 2 notes right here. And it's 2 things that I want you to do as part of the warm-up. It's not written in the thing. It's it's written out, though. I'm going to talk about it just really briefly. You shared because you cared. And I love the sharers, by the way. You sharers that share and show that you care, I really appreciate it, because I've had some interesting people have actually messaged me after this. Oh, is the volume low? Let's see. No, it's you. My volume's up all the way. So that's on, you know, check your volume. Anyway, so I'm glad you're ready to listen. Oh, shoot. You know what it is? Hello. I had the wrong headset in. Is that better? Oh, my word. I think that is about the funniest thing. Okay, sorry, Tracy. Your appointment is next Friday. All the Fridays look the same. How does it sound now? Okay, so just so you know, I have 2 headsets. This one goes into... Thank you, Melanie, for telling me. And I'm thinking, well, I've got this thing down. I guess apparently I did not. Okay, so there it is, folks. I will not be pitiful about that. I will be powerful because I have a choice. You can be pitiful, you can be powerful, but you cannot be both. Marla said it really well today. If you caught her show, she said you cannot serve 2 masters. You know, that's a biblical thing, and it's true. You're either over here or you're over there. You are for this or for that, and there's a real thing, you know, about it. There's a black and white about it. And isn't that nice? It really helps us out. And I would also say that as we practice our powerfulness, which, you know, we need to practice our powerfulness as much as we need to do our routines. We can powerfully do our routines, or we can pitifully do our routines. Is that right? And since this month is all about doing our before bed routine, I think I want to just talk about a couple of things, because if you've noticed, all of this dovetails into each other. How well you take care of yourself, how well you feed yourself, how well you do things. And when I say well, I'm not talking about perfect. I'm talking about being excellent. And our excellence is always, you know, under scrutiny, really, honestly, because sometimes as we go, we will say, well, what we were doing 2 weeks ago or a month ago or a year ago isn't excellent anymore, because this is excellent because we have practiced our routine of doing X, which now has become habits, right? Habits are such good things to have, and routines really are ultimately the ultimate habits, because they bookend your life. They bookend the morning part of your life and the evening part. And then you've got the middles to work on, which you can handle, you know, as long as you're set up for the day. So that should help. Nancy, somebody will help you with that. All you have to do, it's really, honestly, it's easy. Go to savingdinner.com/sprint. It's the /sprint. And all you have to do is put your email address in. Everything will pop up right there. So there should be no issue for you there. So the reason I say that is that the law of repetition is that anything that you repeat, you reinforce. Think about a smoker for a minute. Think about a sugar addiction. Think about anything. You become that habit. That habit becomes part of what you do. And we want to get rid of the bad habits. We've had a few people on here who have talked about, breaking their cigarette smoking, breaking their soda habits. I've seen plenty of that, and that's fabulous. If you are the person who wants to break a soda habit, we have a No Soda For Me pledge right here on this Facebook group. Get that, share it out. It's so easy. No, it's not, Tracy. Tracy, it's savingdinner.com/sprint is what it is. And that will get you there. So that will give you the sprint. It will also give you an invitation to the Facebook group, and it's everything. And this is how you become powerful. So whatever you repeat, you reinforce. I love that because we can reinforce the good stuff. Even the stuff that seems hard right now can become part of the habit. Like, for example, when, I keep forgetting about the 4-minute workout. I'm doing my sprints or whatever. And by the way, look at this. That's 20. I've done 20 sprints already today. And all I did was set my alarms up and go. Each one represents 5. I'm doing 5 now because I have done it repeatedly. Because I have done these up and down and done the flights repeatedly, that is 100% why it's become easier for me. So I'm reinforcing this good habit, and I'm reinforcing the muscles in my legs, and it makes me believe and realize that yes, you can get in shape. So I'm hoping that's going to help for me. If you're putting it in and you're not getting it to come up, I'm not going to be helpful here. Whoever was saying that they couldn't get the sprint, all I'm saying is that's how it's set up. Maybe you have a pop-up blocker. Maybe you have something else going on. It's on your end. Everybody else has got there. So I don't know what to tell you. You can send an email into support@savingdinner.com and they can help you. I am not the person to help with that kind of stuff. I wish I could, but I can't because I don't know what to say. What if you don't have stairs? Then walk. Do something other than that. You can also do, you can find something to do high knees or whatever. But here's the thing. There's no excuse. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. You need to do something and just keep track of it. When you keep track of it, it helps. Do the 4-minute workout. Google that. All you have to do is go to YouTube, type in 4-minute workout. Zach Bush is the doctor, and he will show you exactly how to do it and why it's so important. It's amazing. But the thing is, do you know that you have a 40% greater chance of instantaneous death for no reason, whatever, if you're constantly sitting on your butt all day? 40% higher risk of having some kind of an incident that will bring you to the place of death's door. I don't like that. So get up off your can and let's move it, girls. Yeah, do whatever, but don't just sit there. Your phone will tell the story of what you're doing. So that's what you need to do. Get up and get going. So, understand too, repetition creates a very powerful belief in yourself. And oftentimes we are waiting for magical motivation to rain down from the sky or to have the confidence or whatever to do it. And I just say, have action. Take action. Nancy just said it. Movement. Have movement. Make it happen. So this is what we do. This is what we do. And this is how we make things happen. We create an opportunity to have a powerful habit in the place of something that we didn't want, even in the place of something that we were ashamed of, right? we don't want to live in shame. We don't want to live in guilt. We don't want any of that stuff. We want powerful things to happen in our life. We want powerful people around us. We want to encourage. We want to have a community. We want to have something to show for our effort. And we get to do that. And we don't want the negative stuff to show for our effort. We don't want the negativity. I mean, diabetes type 2 is what you can show for your effort of doing the wrong thing, right? We don't want that. We want to show our effort for the right thing. And as we get to do that, we build up our motivation. As we do that, we build up our confidence. As we move out, even regardless of how we feel better. It's amazing. And Marla's right, sharing is caring. So as you share this video, you're bringing people into our circle. And in our circle, which is a really tight-knit, really fantastic community, you know what happens? People get dinner on the table. They eat according to what they want to eat. They start finding their own inner nutritional guru. And if they need to deal with the body clutter that they're sitting on, they have a place to go. Our sprint is amazing, okay? Our sprint is amazing. It is an anti-inflammatory approach to just clearing the decks and starting over, because everybody needs a do-over. I do. Everybody needs a do-over. So this is how we're dealing with it. So you understand this. This is how learning is done. Remember flashcards? That's how you learn multiplication tables. That's what your routines are. That's what eating healthy is about. And when it becomes repetition and it becomes a lifestyle, then we can stop going on these dumb diets. Then we can stop doing all the crazy stuff and ordering like Junko supplements from some crazy place and trying all these crash diets and this, that, and the other thing. I don't do that. What I'm doing here with the sprint is I'm clearing the decks. I'm getting you to the place of an anti-inflammatory approach to eating. That's it. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get you launched. If you're trying to lose some weight and you're frustrated and it's just a plateau and you're dealing with, you lose weight, you gain it, you lose weight, you gain it, and it's like you're playing with the same 4 pounds, you know what? Let's clear the decks. Let's start over. It's a do-over. It's a do-over. And I have another one. I have a hot milk diet that goes beyond that. Everything is yes, I do have diets, but my diets they have a start place and they have an end place, because my whole thing, I'm the mother bird. I want to push you out of the nest. I want you to get in touch with who you are and who you are nutritionally and what works best for you. And sometimes there's a multi-level approach to that, Sandra says she's not sitting on her body clutter, it's sticking out front. That's okay. We're going to deal with that too. I'm talking about my body clutter. My body clutter is definitely underneath me. But, wherever your body clutter is, it needs to be dealt with. It's talking to you. And next week, once we start the sprint, I'm going to do a series of little teachings. The first one is going to be on toxic fat. I'm going to teach you about that, because our bodies are so wise that they actually have good fat, they have unhealthy fat, and they have an in-between fat. And I'm going to tell you about that because I think it's really important. You are empowered when you know about your body. You are empowered when you take it on yourself, when it becomes your responsibility for understanding what's going on with you. I always say to this, become an empowered patient. Well, become an empowered woman who takes charge of her health, who takes charge of her food, who takes charge of her environment. Be that woman. You can. You're not a tree. You don't have to stay where you are. You are not a tree. You just need to understand that your body is calling to you. If you have body clutter situation, your body is calling to you. And before I get into the questions, which I'm going to, I have something that I really want to say, and I want to say it to that woman. There is a woman who's listening to this right now, and you need to hear this from me, okay? Stop beating yourself up. Stop it now. What you did in the past has nothing to do with what you're doing now and what you're going to do in the future. And as much as I know and understand what it is to be obsessed with, like, just you're looking at your thighs and there's a conversation going. You're looking at your butt and there's a conversation going. You see your clothes, you're putting on your clothes in the morning, you're getting yourself ready and you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you have a conversation going and none of it's positive. I know what that is. And I just want to say stop, right? And love yourself right now where you are today. Where's body clutter? In body clutter, I wrote about this very thing because I beat myself up continually. I hated my body, but it was at the time that I started to when I made the decision to love my body as it was right then and there, barely getting into a pair of size 18 pants. Really, I needed a size 20. And I stopped. I said, I need to love myself for where I am, because if I can love myself today where I am, guess what happens? Then you can love yourself as you're losing the body clutter. You can lose yourself as you're losing the inflammation, as you start feeling better. So I want you to do something. If this is new to you, if you haven't read Body Clutter, for heaven's sakes, go get the book and read it. We have a lot to say about that. And our new Body Clutter will come in, the new Body Clutter Wise book will be coming in after that. But this is the thing. Who you are today is a woman who is in progress. Progress, not perfection. You've heard that before. That's an AA thing. We have to look at ourselves as women who want more. It's not that we want to be perfect. It's we want more. We want excellence in our lives. You're here for a reason. You are here for a reason. If you weren't here for a reason, you wouldn't be here. That is an absolute promise. If you don't believe me, go find the Bible, open it up, and you'll see it. You are here on purpose. Now, I want you to do something. If this is new to you, and if you've been feeling that thing inside of you that hurts, are you feeling that part inside of you that just doesn't believe in yourself? I'll stand in that gap and I'll hold up your arms and I will say, I believe in you. I will say, I have a vision for you that is bigger than you have for yourself. Let me hold that for you. And I also think it's really important that you apologize to yourself. And when I say that, this is what I mean. When we do the destructive habits that pull us down, that take us out of the place of loving ourselves, and we all do that, we have to let that go. But to do that, we have to apologize. How powerful is an apology? When somebody came to you and said, you know what, I did something, and I shouldn't have said that. That was out of line. I am, please accept my apology. Okay? I am sorry. Marla says this really well. Forgive me, I'm going to butcher this, but she says it very well. When you say I am, that is a statement of power. So I am sorry, that you're basically saying you're a sorry person. But when you say I apologize to you, what you're doing is you're showing that act of humility and you're apologizing. Now, when I say to you, apologize to yourself, write out a letter to yourself, write it out, and tell your body how much you love it, how much you promise to take care of it, and how much you want to be able to feed it the food that it needs, how much you want to be able to give it the love that it needs, and that you recognize it's your vehicle. And it's a blessed vehicle. It is your temple. Read about that in the Holy Scriptures, right? It is a temple. We're not going to desecrate the temple anymore. We're going to honor it. We're going to do the things that we need to do in order to honor it. Now, I want you to write that letter out. Write it out. Cry if you need to, but understand that your body deserves absolutely everything that you can possibly give it to keep it running optimally. That's good, Trisha. Apologize is an action, and sorry is a state of being. That's a big difference. So take action on that. All right? Take action. Apologize to yourself and just let it go. Love yourself up, because you're the only person you have. You don't have an opportunity to hop out of this body and hop into another one. There is not a nice shiny car down on the lot that's a new body for you. You've got what you've got. So now it's time to love it. Apologize. If you've not been pampering and taking care of your body, if you've been abusing it with drugs, your drug of choice, sugar, whatever. I mean, look how Marla just dropped the salt. Dropped it. She just recognized, there was a recognition. The switch went off. I see. It doesn't work for me. So your confidence is built. There she goes. Liz is talking about confidence. Your confidence is built on the action that you take. Confidence will never come before an action. Okay? Recognizing where you are, your starting place, and being able to love yourself and just let your body know that you recognize, you know better, so now you're going to do better. Let them know. Love your body and write that letter if you need to. And for that woman who needs to hear it and doesn't think you can do it, thinks it's going to be too hard or whatever, let me just tell you, I have a vision for you. I have a vision for you, and it's a vision of care, of love, and of you getting to where you want to go. It is not pie in the sky. It's the truth. It is the truth. Hold on to that truth. Hold on to the vision that you can have for yourself. And if you don't have it for yourself, I will hold on to it for you. Okay? Hold on to it. All right, I'm done with that. All right, the sprint, savingdinner.com/sprint. We have a Facebook group. It's lively, it's fun, and there's hundreds of people in there. And we're going to crush this sprint starting on Monday. But you want to go get prepared. There's a lot you can do. In the warm-up, I talk about, getting rid of the pudding coffees that a lot of you have been making. I talk about a lot of those things. I'm going to add 2 more things to that. Okay, this is extra peripheral stuff that I've decided I'm going to add, and that's this. The vinegar that you drink before you have your meal it's a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, organic, with the mother, okay, the good stuff, into 8 to 12 ounces of water down the hatch. Now, this is good. This is for glucose regulation, and it's also for your insulin, to reduce insulin sensitivity. So that's to increase insulin sensitivity, which we want. Oh, so I turned the fan off and now I'm hot. Great. So my suggestion to you is that you start doing it now. I've had I can't remember who it was, and I don't see her here, but I can't remember who it was. Somebody has said, who has diabetes, has started doing this, and they've already seen such a great reduction on their blood sugar already. So she's doing her regular blood sugar and she's seen it. This is a fantastic way to help you, and it also really works on your appetite, and it works on your digestion. Okay, so do that. The other thing that I'm going to encourage you to do, if you are not somebody who has done this yet, okay? If you're someone who has not tried this yet, I want you to start practicing the fast for 12 hours, okay? At least 12 hours. 12 hours to start, 12 hours at the other side. So 12 hours of fasting, 12 hours of feasting. Easy. You sleep most of those 12 hours, okay? And you say you stop dinner at 7 o'clock. At 7 a.m., that's when you break your fast. At least start that now. For those of you who are already doing that, start pushing it out a little bit, okay? If you have any questions about that, ask me in the sprint. I will be going into the sprint right after this and do a quick Facebook Live like I have done every day this week. And next week, we're going to get down to some teaching. I'm going to be teaching you things about your body and how to respond to it. And that's going to empower you so that you can keep on tapping into your inner nutritional guru. Okay? Catherine, I would call it feasting. Why wouldn't you call it feasting? I am calling you out on that. We get to have this most delicious, wonderful food. We get to have that. That's right. Let's not forget that. When you share, you care, and that's how this book gets given out. And Trisha won the book this week. Next week, there'll be a new person. And I have, I think, 2 more books after this, and I have a lot more coming up. So there you go. All right, Q&A. Let's get down to business. You guys ready for this? Okay. Joanne asked, before we break our fast, is it okay to have coffee or water beforehand? And I'm assuming, of course, that you were talking about, I'm assuming you're talking about the sprint. You may have coffee, you may have tea, you may have water. And that is all assuming, of course, that there's no anything in it. Okay, so it's black coffee, black tea, white, clear water. Okay, that's how that works. All right. So here's Denise from Ireland. Okay, this is a good question. I have a question for you about the keto diet. Some of my family members are on keto. My 2 brothers say it works wonders for their weight loss, but my sister, her progress is slow. I've been on low carb diets before and felt it hard to maintain as it was restrictive to the extreme. The weight fell off fast, but when I got off the wagon, it piled on just as fast. Does keto suit men more than women because of changing hormones? Is there any scientific evidence related to the effects of keto in the long term on men and women? When you have certain food addictions, it can be a nightmare if you go off the wagon. I so relate to Marla when she admits her salt addiction. Mine's chocolate and salt. Hello, chocolate. Yet my sister says that in our family, we have lower sodium levels than the norm and should get it checked out. Okay, that's another thing. All right, so there's a bunch of stuff here. Let's unload this. Okay. All right, here we go. And Liz says, great question, replying to Brenda. I don't know what the question is, but, you'll have to, I'm going to go ahead and talk about this. So let's see if we can go forward on this. Well, first of all, if you've listened to anything that I've said, we are all uniquely and wonderfully made and not one size fits all. For some people, keto is the answer to prayer. For other people, keto is just a nightmare. It doesn't work. We all have to adjust according to what works for us. There are things that work for us and there are things that don't work. And instead of beating yourself up and just saying, I don't know why it's working for him, it's not working for her, I don't get this, whatever, change it up. Keep changing it up. When you change it up, then you can start to see some progress. You can use the same principles, like, in the keto diet, you can use the same principles, for example, but of eating maybe a little less protein, you can add a little more fat, and you can add a whole heck of a lot of fiber in the way of green vegetables and stuff. Okay, so that's what you need to do. Is you need to look at, how does this affect me? How do I feel when I'm doing this? If I feel sick, then maybe what you need to do is back away from the fat a little bit and also take a look at the fat. Make sure it's good, healthy fat and you're not just eating some kind of junk. If you're eating like bacon and cheese, that's not junk, by the way, but if you're eating only bacon, only cheese, and that's your only source of fat, that can make you sick. That's really rich. And it's okay to do on occasion, and I have my own, ways of doing that, but what you need to be looking at, the fat needs to be coming from good, healthy sources. It needs to be coming from MCT oil, olive oil, avocado oil, avocados. It needs to be coming from nuts. Those are the things that should be the primary fat giver, not bacon and cheese. And that's what I found when I've talked to people and really dug into it. That's what's been their problem. So she says, is there any scientific evidence related to the effects of keto in the long term for men and women? Yes, there is. And keto, to me, and I've explained this before, should be done on a shorter term basis. It's a season. It's not, and some people would crucify me over this because they say, oh no, it's a lifestyle. It's this, that, and the other thing, and it's forever and ever, amen. Okay, for you maybe it is, but for most people we need to switch it up. Sometimes we just need to switch it up. And that's how it is with any kind of a thing. If you understand about food sensitivities, the reason you get a food sensitivity in the first place is you overeat it. We need to have variety and we need to switch things up. And we need to switch things up a lot. The only time that you need to really be concerned about, like, am I eating too much of something, or am I not getting enough of something, is vegetables. Because I promise you, nobody is binging out on vegetables. Nobody has a broccoli problem. Nobody. They have sugar problems, they have salt problems, they have chocolate problems, they have booze problems, they have drug problems, they have addictions to this, sex, alcohol, drugs, food, bad habits, all kinds of things, but they don't have an issue with broccoli or vegetables. I promise you. So what we need to do is we need to look and see and dial in on what works best for you. I recommend always, when you're starting something, do this. Keep a food journal, write it down, and write down how you feel. Because what happens is we go, oh, I just didn't feel that good about something. And then we forget, and then it happens again, and we're thinking, I wonder what that's about. Well, if we keep a little bit of a food diary, that's where we can find out exactly what's going on with us. And suddenly we can connect the dots. It's just that simple. All right. The other thing is, she said, yet my sister says that in our family we have lower sodium levels than the norm and should get it checked out. Sodium levels are an important part of everyone. And we do need salt in order, our hearts need salt. Everything, our body needs salt. What Marla's doing, and I want to make a big differentiating thing about this because, I don't want everybody to just drop the salt shaker. What I do want you to do is make a salt switch. Swap out your salt. If you're eating regular table salt, you need to change it up and get a pink Himalayan salt, and even stay away from sea salt. They're finding plastic in sea salt now. I find that most people are oversalting things. And Marla knows, and we've even joked, she used to have this habit, she does not anymore, of sitting down and just putting salt on everything before even tasting it. Now that's a bad habit. She recognized it. She got rid of that. She and her husband also eat out dinner most nights a week. And in restaurants, they have a tendency to use a lot more salt than, say, we will at home. Okay? So for her to not put salt on food in restaurants is wise. And it makes sense. She's getting plenty of salt. Believe me, it's not like she has a salt deficit. She's getting rid of the excess salt because she was putting salt on everything. And even when she ate at my home, when I made the spatchcock chicken, I had a little salt in there. I had a little salt, on everything except the spinach salad. And then the salt was on the table, right? The salt was on the table if you needed it for the potato. I put it on my potato. She did not. She didn't need it. But that's how it is. I mean, this is how we work. It's not like we're going salt less. We're going with less salt. Does that make sense? All right. So yes, drop the salt shaker, but again, people get freaked out about salt because they don't understand how it works and how much is in, like, restaurant food, for example. In restaurants, it's a heck of a lot more salty. Just look it up. If you went and looked up, find a popular restaurant, go look up something that they have on their menu that you would make at home, and check out the nutritional information if they have it, right? Becca, don't give out information like that. Yes, there is a need the heart does need salt. So that is not true. And I know, I'm a nutritionist. Trust me, I understand about this. Pink salt is something all cells need it. Every single cell in our body needs it. We have sodium and a sodium and a potassium pump in each cell. And what happens is if we have too much salt, guess what happens? We swell up. And then the potassium comes in and then it regulates it out. Eat a banana. That's what I used to say after Chinese, eat a banana so that you could get the salt back out. But the thing that's really important to understand is that a little bit of salt is something everybody needs. And there's a doctor, I can't remember his name, of course, but he's the co-author with Dr. Jason Fung on the whole thing about fasting. He has some very interesting words to say about salt. But this doesn't apply, and that is not counter to what Marla was saying. What Marla did was take out the excess salt, okay? She's still getting salt. Believe me, she's still getting salt. And that's where I'm going to leave it on that. So any sodium salt stuff that you need to look at, if you're swelling up, you have a salt problem. Take a look at that. Back away from the salt shaker. And yes, you can get it checked out. You can check out and find out if you've got too much salt in you. I mean, there's tests for that. Okay. Gail says, so glad I found you. I follow and incorporating a lot from your friend, the Fly Lady. I know who she is. You guys are such a joy to learn from, and I truly feel your passion. Here's my question. I'm eating pretty clean, work out with HIIT 4 times a week. Goal is 5. I need some help with meal prep, and it gets tricky. Okay, this is one of my favorite questions. It gets tricky with the price of quality food and protein, especially I generally eat ground turkey, beef, chicken, breast, veggies, etc. What's the best way to eat on a budget? Anybody can learn from this okay? Here's what I want you to do. Here's what you need to understand, right? We need to be really careful and need to take a look at what is going on in our grocery stores. When those things come in the mail, people always toss them. I always look at them because the grocery stores now are starting to understand and starting to give you what it is that we've all been asking for so long, And what we've been asking for so long is, I want wild salmon. I want grass-fed beef. I want organic stuff, organic fruits and vegetables, and you will see the sale items. So that's how I do it. I shop the sales. Example, we love Costco. And Marla always teases me about my Costco-ness because, we're 2 people living in this wonderful little teeny town. And here we are with this refrigerator with a bottom freezer, right? And downstairs from us, we have a full freezer and a full refrigerator as well. Hello. And you know why? I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because we shop the sales. When we see something on sale, we take advantage of it. We just found 2 things at Earth Fair. That's a regional Whole Foods-like place. And it was worth traveling 45 minutes to go get it. We got wild salmon, and I think we got it for $7.99 a pound. It's usually about $14.99 a pound. So we got wild salmon, filleted and ready to go. We also got ground beef, grass-fed ground beef for $3.99 a pound. That's a deal. Those 2 things are the same price as conventional stuff, but it's the better stuff. And so guess what we did? I have a freezer with a shelf that's full of the ground beef and full of the salmon. So we got that. On my list, I wanted some organic arugula. Oh my God, Becca, you just made my day. She said some realtor in town just said that there's a Costco coming to Asheville. Yay! Yeah, right now we have to go down to Greenville, so that's far. Okay. So anyway, sorry, I just got a little excited about that. So I found in Bilo, of all places, just another grocery store here, they had a buy one, get one. So they had buy one, get one free for spinach and arugula and baby lettuces, the little tubs. So we had 4 things. I had 2 things on my list. I had spinach on my list and I had arugula on my list. And I like the big tubs because we go through them. Believe it or not, just 2 people go through them. And then, when Marla and Robert are here on Wednesdays, I mean, those are the sum total of people that we feed, but we eat a lot of that. So we got 4 of those. They were smaller tubs. So we got 4 of them. We got 2 arugulas and 2 spinaches, and we got them for the same price as 2. So that's a deal, right? Do you see how I'm saying, where I'm going with all of this? And then anytime we see something that is a good deal on a good price, whatever, we buy it, we freeze it. Obviously we don't do that with everything because you can't do that with fresh lettuce. So shop those sales, shop them, go to Costco, go to the places where you can find great deals, okay? The deals that you're going to find are going to be all over the place. Do not take advantage of the great deals. Buy this muffin mix and get another one free. Don't take advantage of that. Pay attention to the good stuff. Go through and find the good stuff. Look in the produce, look in the meat. There's always something good there. And that's how you shop. So when we go to make dinner, I rarely have anything that's just fresh from the market, the grocery store. I don't have chicken that's thawed. Everything is frozen. And the reason everything's frozen because everything that's in my freezer is bought on sale. I just wait. They come up. The sales are always there. And we save a fortune on our grocery bill. And we eat organic, we eat grass-fed, we eat wild, we eat pastured, we eat all of that. There's a grocery outlet here that they had cage-free eggs. They had 18 for $1.99. We bought them. Are you kidding? Of course we're going to buy that. Those are the best eggs, and they had them on sale. So there you go. That's all I'm going to say about that. So I hope that was helpful. But honestly, you can eat well on a budget. It just needs to be a part of your, bring that into your reticular activating system, and know that the deals are out there. That's how you do it. Okay, Susan says, okay, this is a good one, you guys. And I'm gonna stretch this a little bit, okay? What was the brand? Wild Planet was the brand of sardines that I mentioned. Wild Planet. And you can find them, at least you used to be able to find them at Costco. Anyway, but they're good. Okay, Susan says, I've struggled with anxiety for my entire life, 60 years old. As far as what we eat, drink, what helps anxiety and what foods make it worse? I enjoy watching you on Facebook every day. Thank you. Okay, this is something, I did a little bit of research, and I have a friend who holds an anxiety summit every year, and she's a nutritionist too, and she's really smart. And I'm blanking out on her name. That's just really crummy that I did that. Trudy. Anyway, here's some really good things to know. There is a new field called psychoneuroimmunology. It's a big field. And they're working on thesis stuff, okay? So this is not all proven. They're doing the science. This is on PubMed, by the way. This is a research paper that I read on PubMed. So it is fascinating. And what they're finding is that they're connecting the dots between your immune system and anxiety. They're connecting the dots between your immune system and your depression. And understand too that anxiety and depression, pretty much, they're like BFFs. They go, a lot of times they go together. They present differently, but a lot of times the same thing that brings on depression is the same thing that brings on anxiety. They just show up differently. It's like immune. To me, it's like, and this is a very simplified version. I'm sure some doctor would just just slap me silly. But all immune diseases, pretty much, they just show up in different parts of your body. Well, that's kind of how anxiety and depression work, and it's fascinating. So there's these things called cytokines. Okay, cytokines are the signalers. Think of it this way. In a train, there's signals that go off on a train, and if a certain signal goes off, the train goes straight. If a certain signal goes off, the train goes to the left, or the train goes to the right. Well, the cytokines are like that. They're kind of the signalers. They're the ones that kind of direct the traffic. They're sort of like the boss, even over the hormones, which are the little messenger guys. So they signal your body for the happiness hormones. And we've talked about those before. And your happiness hormones are important because your happiness hormones dictate both anxiety and depression. So let's understand about that. So the first one is dopamine. And let me just go through it. Dopamine can be stimulated by exercise. It also can be stimulated. It's more of a brain thing by learning something new. One of the things that you can do is to kind of get your dopamine going. This is kind of crazy. Brush your teeth with the opposing hand. Use your opposing hand every once in a while. You can do this as well when you're trying to learn to eat less. So use your opposing hand. So if you are right-handed, use your left hand to eat with. and say a little mantra in your head that I'm eating less because I'm eating what my body needs, and this is going to trigger the dopamine. I love that. I think that's interesting. Learning a language. Marla's learning a language right now. Learning a language is going to trigger dopamine. So learning something new helps you to trigger dopamine. Isn't that cool? And there's something else too, and I'm going to tell you about that because there's one thing that triggers all of it. And then serotonin also is another one of the happiness hormones, and that's triggered by sunlight. And vitamin D is very influential. And vitamin D, while it is a vitamin, is more acts like a hormone, and because it signals your body as well. So serotonin is also influenced by exercise. Just doing those sprints, going up and down, counting them out, and doing all, getting that off your can and get moving. Do the 4-minute exercise 3 times a day. It's easy. Think of it at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I do it when I'm unloading my dishwasher, and when I'm done here, after I'm done with my break fast, same thing. I will do it again. Then I'll go do my sprint, my flights up and down the stairs. Boom, done. So do those. That helps to dump the nitric acid in your body and also stimulates serotonin. Then go sit outside with, for 10 minutes. Like Marla says, catch a sunbeam. That works. And then there's endorphins. And endorphins are kind of an after the fact kind of a thing. After you've exercised and done things, your body responds with endorphins. That also makes you happy. It also calms you down. And then there's the last one is oxytocin. And this is what happens in childbirth, believe it or not. And if you are ever been induced, this is what they give you. They give you oxytocin so that it helps you to have a baby. But this is the touch hormone. We get, when we touch, when we hug and we get love, that's how we release oxytocin. And if you're living alone and you're not getting hugged regularly, hug yourself. Go get a massage. But we need to be touched. We're humans. This is part and parcel. So all 4 of those are how you release and stimulate those hormones. But you know what else? You know what else stimulates all 4 of those? An anti-inflammatory diet. When you dump sugar into your body, you suppress all 4 of those hormones. You suppress your happiness. When you're eating like crap, you're going to get crap back. You're going to get crap in the form of pain, in the form of aches, in the form of body clutter, in the form of mood, depression, anxiety, etc. All of that. What you put in is what you're going to get out. We can't think. Jesus turned water into wine. He's the only one that I know that can do such a thing. He's the only one that I know that can do. But water is not crap, and either is wine. But why do we think that we can somehow eat crap and expect to feel good? Why do we do that? We do that to ourselves. And if we have anxiety that we're dealing with, we have to understand that anything that's going in is going to either help it or it's going to hinder it. Okay? That's how it is with our bodies, with whatever condition. And that's not to say that you shouldn't see a doctor. That's not to say you shouldn't get medication. You should be under a doctor's care if you have debilitating anxiety or depression. Absolutely. Talk to them. See what you can do. And again, there's different medications for these things, and just be an informed patient and know what the contraindications are about and ask your doctor about that. That's all I'm asking you to do. But as far as what can you do to help control these kind of things, you can control what's on the end of your fork. You can control as much as you can about your thoughts. You can understand that that's a good one, Terry. Comfort foods do not provide true comfort. Well, you just need to flip what your comfort foods are. That's what I say. You just need to understand how powerful, how extraordinarily powerful food is. It is medicine. Food is medicine. Hippocrates said that all those years ago. And he said it because it's the truth. So if you need to reset, my suggestion is that you start with us on Monday in a community of loving, caring people, a sisterhood of people who know that being in a community is the thing that's going to bring us together and is going to encourage and help us all along. We'll all be doing the same thing at the same time. Is that not crazy fantastic? I love stuff like that. So those were the questions that we had for today. And look at me, I'm finishing 5 minutes early. Those are the questions that we have to our day. If you want to have a question answered next Friday, send in your email to support@savingdinner.com. In the subject line, put the words question for Friday. Okay? Question for Friday. When you do that, then my customer service is going to know that this is something that you don't need answered by me. And by the way, I don't do consultations, et cetera, anymore. I don't do any of that. But if you have a confidential question that's something that's embarrassing or whatever, you can send that in, and I definitely take care of that and talk to you about that, or write you an email about it if I can. Okay, if not, I will let you know for sure. I answer all my emails. So it's support@savingdinner.com. In the subject line, put question for Friday, and I will answer it next Friday. If you want to get a book, share this. Share it to the public. When you go to share, you can share it to friends, or you can share it to public. Share it to public, then I'll see it and I'll look through, because I look through every Monday before I pull a name. I look through to see who's shared. And you know what? I'm impressed with those who write something like, this helped me, or, check Leanne out at savingdinner.com, etc. Those are the people that I've been grabbing, by the way. Just so you know, that's just a little extra. Body Clutter, if you haven't read it, now's the time. I want you to start reading Body Clutter, because our new book is going to be coming together. And I have one more thing. Where is it? Oh, heavens. Here it is. I am doing this, and I'm going to tell you, this is something that I think you should be doing as well. You can find your own little mini calendar at the Fly Lady website, flylady.net, and use this calendar, open it up, use this calendar, and put in your menu for the week. And I've got my menu for the week. You can see I've got steak, ground beef, this, that, and the other thing. I've got all those things there. So you can put the food out that you're going to do for the sprint. You can do your weight, your measurements. That's important, and you're going to want to put that all out. And this is just for you. Nobody needs to see it. And then give yourself a gold star. If you don't have gold stars, you can always just put a big check or put another sticker or whatever on there. But track yourself. This is how we are going to get this done. This is how we are going to come together as a community and go through each and every day. Okay? You can do this. This is 100% in your control, because you are not pitiful. You are powerful. And I believe in you. And again, I will hold that vision for you. If you can't hold it for yourself, I will hold it for you. But there's so much more for you. And just clearing the slate, starting over, is how we begin. And we do it on Monday. So go to savingdinner.com/sprint. If that is something that you want to do, and you want my support, and you want to just full on get into it, we start Monday. I want you to be ready for it. So go get that right now. Yes, herbal tea counts as water. I will see you all in the sprint. If you're going to be a part of the sprint, I'll be in the sprint group on Facebook. We'll see you in a minute. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you tomorrow.